And what is up, everybody? It's been a good minute since BPL has been on the live stream since last year. This is the first one of the year, and it's nice to see people joining in. Thank you, I appreciate everybody. But we got a special couple guests tonight, and we're gonna let them introduce themselves. Go for it.
Awesome, ladies first.
Sure. So I'm Sam, and this is my husband.
I'm Philip.
And we are Powerline Reptiles.
Correct.
Thanks for having us.
Yes.
For sure. So, and we kind of talked a little bit behind stage and all that. So it took me about 10 months to get to this spot, to get you guys on the interview.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy and stoked. And thank you. Hey, what's up, Cold-Blooded, Morbid, Solo? Appreciate everybody. Gary, I'm going to take that comment down so we can see their name on the bottom. Okay, so cool. For the first question, what started Powerline Reptiles?
Oh man, like
at the very beginning.
In the very beginning, what came up with the name? What came up? What was the inspiration behind the breeding? Wanting to breed, of course, getting there.
Sure. So that was probably my fault.
Yeah, I was afraid of snakes.
So I was like a little kid, and my parents would get very tired of me and ship me to my grandparents' place in Florida growing up. And what did you bring the dog in for? Goodness.
It was bugging me.
It's a snake show.
That's fine.
So I got shipped off to Florida a fair amount to spend time with my grandparents. And they were definitely of the generation that was like, open the front door and like just be back sometime for dinner. And I spent all my time out catching snakes and lizards and pretty much anything I could. And I knew from the time I could spell herpetology that that's what I wanted to do. And loved reptiles forever. And my parents let me have a lizard, but snakes were like an absolute no way. And so we moved in together, and maybe for my 21st birthday or 22nd birthday, we had our own apartment, and I said to myself, I haven't been able to have a snake for all of these years. I've wanted one, and I think that's what I'm going to do for my birthday is get a snake. And I had a lovely conversation with Garrick DeMeyer from Royal Constrictor Designs and asked him all of my million questions. And he was super awesome. And I wound up getting a pair.
But wait, you had to get like my permission first, because at the time
sure.
I was really like anti-snake, which is so weird now that I love them so much. But like 10 years ago,
yeah,
I was not having it. But I was like, okay, you can get a snake. I don't want anything to do with it. I'm not going to look at it. I'm not going to clean up after it. I'm not going to breed it.
And then 2 of them showed up, and he was like, "Are you serious?"
Yeah.
It was a pastel and a bumblebee, which was pretty awesome.
Excellent beginnings.
Exactly. And
how much do you think a pastel and a bumblebee were at the time?
I don't know. I think we probably got the pair for like $500 or something.
Yeah, probably.
Nowadays it'd be obviously a lot less. But then it was still quite a bit of money, and for us that was a lot of money. And so we got them set up and everything, and Phil was terrified, but
terrified. I said afraid, terrified. So strong.
So he started to kind of just come around to like having them there, and started to read up about them, because I'm one of those people, I have to study everything before I do anything. So I had all these like care books and everything, which now I could probably throw in the garbage. I feel like so much of the information is just useless.
Or wrong.
But we're subjective.
Get your heat rocks.
I read the books like over and over again, and he started to read one. And I remember he was reading a chapter in the back that was written by Kevin McCurley of Nerd, of course. And he was like, "Did you know these things come in like other colors?" Like, yeah. And we had just moved to a new city, and we're looking for like something to do, because we didn't really have a friend group or any like hobbies going or anything. And the next thing you know, we had like 10.
We had a hobby.
We had a hobby.
Okay, sweet.
Yep. And as far as the name, do we want to disclose where the name came from, or is that going to be a secret
I think we
take
can.
to
No,
our
we
grave?
can. Because so many people are like, oh, are you like a line worker?
No, so yeah, we do get that a lot. People that think have something
I mean,
to
if
do
you
with
want it
power.
to be a secret, that's fine.
No, it's okay.
I've told
it's
a
okay.
handful of
It's
people.
exclusive. We can let this in on an interview.
Yeah.
So we went on a road trip about a year into just having snakes. And we thought to ourselves, well, gee, we're crossing the country. We have a lot of time. And we probably need to come up with a name for what we're about to do. And we've been on the road like, I don't know, 15 hours at this point, just us in our little car driving through nothingness. And we just started to go back and forth with names. Oh, this is going to make us seem so lame, dude.
No, own it. You got to own it.
It's so cool. Lame, but we're kind of lame. So something we had in common when we were kids is we were both really big fans of a Goofy movie. If everyone has seen that,
Disney movie.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Right. So do you remember the like superstar in the movie? His name was Powerline.
Honestly,
I told you.
He's got his Cannibal Corpse shirt on, and he's like,
so stupid.
A Disney musical, really?
So
like, honestly, yeah. Well, for two reasons. I have two boys, and then like as a kid, I remember watching it, but I don't remember any of the characters, to be honest.
Yeah.
He was like so cool, and I think we were just talking about how like cool we thought he was when we were kids.
Yeah.
And one of us just kind of threw it out there as a joke, and we spent the next like 6 days on the road throwing around names, and we couldn't come up with anything we liked more. And we were like, it's so very us.
PowerlineReptiles.
PowerlineReptiles. And his, so to like tie it back into where this like fits in with snakes, I suppose, is Powerline's like hit single in the movie is a song called Stand Out. And we thought to ourselves, like, that's what we want to do. We want to do something different than like what everyone is doing. And we're approaching it differently. And like, we want to stand out. So like, I don't know, it just sort of fit, and then it stuck, and then we were PowerlineReptiles, and forever just a little inside humor for us.
It makes us laugh.
So what's up, Venom? And for me, it was different. So like we were talking behind stage, and everyone knows this about me. So I've been with my wife now 11 years, married for 5 or 6, somewhere around there. I forgot. If she's watching, I'm sorry, baby. I don't. I just know the day we were married. I can't remember the years. I'm sorry, but she didn't want to be around reptiles. It took 9 years for me to be like, come on.
Oh wow.
And then now she's finally on board. Yeah, it took a good minute.
Did you start with ball pythons when you finally got one?
No, I had snakes before I met her. I had gardener snakes. I had a king snake. I had a corn snake. I had one ball python, and then when we first got together, I had just my normal ball python at the time, and it struck at her. And ever since then, it was just like, fuck you. Like, and I was like, no, well, let's just change that. I was like, let's change that. And I was like, I'll show you a pretty one.
Yeah. And
it worked.
Yeah, it does.
That's
actually.
So funny that it was a ball python. Some of them
9 years later.
Some of them are real spunky.
So
games.
2 things we're going to do different tonight. There is this new question, rapid fire, I'm going to ask, and then also to make things more interesting for the channel, I will be dropping a link throughout the chat, throughout the night, for anyone that wants to come up and ask a question. But please keep it, not too crazy. Okay, so what would you consider is the hardest thing about being a breeder?
Oh man. I'm immediately thinking of like all the poo and the gross, the gross of it all. Like
it is isn't exactly a glamorous thing to do, that's for sure.
It looks all nice and like, you know, glistening on Instagram, but you know, when it's like Tuesday and there's this rat that you didn't know the snake didn't eat, and you need to find out what to do with it. Yeah, that's, you know, I think that might be it.
I'm gonna go with space.
Yeah.
Okay. I agree with the space part because I mean I'm limited, but not any. Well, okay. So let me. So I am not growing my collection right now because I do breed my own rats, and I don't want to grow too rapidly. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
And I don't want to get too many and not be able, and I have to go pay for feeders. You know, it's just one of those things.
Good for you, man. We bred our own feeders for years, and it got to the point where I was like, how much money do we need to make doing this so that we don't have to breed our own feeders anymore?
Yeah.
Like, it was so, you talk about what's like the worst part of breeding for me for years, it was the rats.
Yeah.
Like, so much upkeep. There's so much more work than the actual like reptiles themselves. I spent so much time like in the rat colony that it was like, am I even breeding snakes anymore? Or am I just breeding rats? It felt like that for a long time. I'm so glad we don't do that anymore.
They smell at times like horribly. I'm like, God, whew. So I know this answer. I just, you know, some people are against it, some are for it, some just don't do it. Just curious, egg cutting or no egg cutting? And I already know the answer.
Yeah, we're fine with egg cutting. I feel like it's kind of to each their own, and I feel like there's a responsible way to do it and an irresponsible way to do it. You know, some people with large followings tend to like cut an egg open and like take the baby out and look at it and roll it all around and see what they got.
That's not what we're
I'm not really
what we're doing.
I'm not into that.
I'm not saying there's necessarily anything wrong with that. Like, we don't have any experience with it, so we don't know.
Yeah.
The way we do it mostly is like we'll wait for the first hatchling or couple of hatchlings to pip the egg, and then we'll slit the rest. Mostly this is because we're looking for health problems, or if something has been born that won't survive and we need to cull it. It's something that we want to know early. Like, we don't want to let any animals suffer. We have had like twisted umbilici. I don't know. Really? No. Is that where we're going? But we have had some issues that we've needed to take care of in the egg before. So we've definitely had good reason to cut the eggs in the past. So for us, like, it's worth it. The babies don't seem to be any worse off for having done it. And yeah, generally pretty good every time.
Okay. Hey, what's up, Gary? How are you doing, man?
How you doing, BPL? I want to know, what made you guys want to get started in the reptiles?
Sure. So we kind of talked about this a little bit before, but I was super into it from when I was like a little kid. That was like always something that was part of my childhood. If you guys check out our Instagram page, you'll see there's a post of an old photograph of me when I was like 6. Sitting there with my mom, and I've got like this big reptile book open, and I'm like, check out this, it's awesome.
It's snakes, y'all.
My mom could not have been more horrified. But it just became something fun for us to do together.
Yeah.
What's the biggest reptile you guys have ever owned?
Biggest?
The biggest being like a water monitor, snake, or anything like that.
Sure. So we had a female red tail for a while, who was awesome. Her name was Spooky, and she was super cool. And it's like, for us, it was always about space. Like, we lived in Philadelphia for so many years, and it's just constantly like a problem. And when you have really big animals like that, it becomes like, where am I going to house you? Where am I going to put this house? And when you think about the fact that you can have like one like 10 or 11 foot animal, or you can have like stacks of ball pythons, it becomes about just kind of what choice you want to make. And she was an amazing animal. I would recommend red tails to anybody. They were super cool.
She was so hungry.
She was very hungry.
Nothing like
she
a
was a
ball
great
python.
trash can, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was probably our biggest. I think when we rehomed her, she was probably 10 or 11 feet. So nothing crazy, not anything that one person couldn't really handle.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gary. I appreciate you joining in.
Thanks, Gary.
So what was your favorite clutch you both have hit of all time? If you could name one clutch that you've hit, what was your favorite?
Oh man, I have one in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can go first. That's fine.
So for me, it was our very first Axanthic. And this, we had a hell of a time, like getting those snakes.
We're cursed, by the way.
Like
we're cursed with recessive products.
Yeah.
We're terrible at producing recessives.
Oh, it took us so long to make the ghost for the first time.
I know.
Oh my
years
God.
and years
All these,
and years.
but
So
it's because we
stupid.
were, you know, we didn't have like the morph market back then. We didn't have, it was kind of sketchy. So we had some hets that didn't prove out. We had a lot going on. I mean, so this, finally, these het Axanthic, het TSK Axanthic snakes combos were up to size, bred them together. Did we hit it? It was the first time, right?
The first time, but that came with a nasty surprise too. We found out they were both fires.
Oh my God. Yeah,
What
so
a mess.
they were sold to us as vanilla het Axanthic combos, which would be really cool, right? Super vanilla Axanthics. That'd be a cool thing to hit on the first try. Yeah, so we
both of them turned out to be fires.
so we opened the eggs and just like this all white snake.
And we had spent like the 2 years that they were both like coming up to size buying fires to eventually go to all of this Axanthic vanilla stuff. So we'd stacked our collection full of fire only to discover that they were both fires.
Back then, vanilla creams were really cool, you know? Like, I still think they're cool. But back then, vanilla creams, you know, when we saw it at like a snake show, we were like, oh my God. And can you imagine an Axanthic version? So anyway, we got the super fire. We've had a lot of super fires now. But anyway, one of the eggs just like, oh my God, like seeing this white and black face pip. It was a Firefly TSK Axanthic.
Real simple, but so beautiful.
And it was just like one of those moments, you know, you make a lot of snakes. And I think like that was one of the first moments where I was like, this thing looks unreal, you know, like it looks like it shouldn't even be an animal, which was cool for me.
Yeah, and he's breeding in our collection now. It's funny that all of our favorite memories are all from like a while back, because I remember the Axanthic clutch and I remember the Firefly leopard yellow belly clutch the first time. And those things came out of the egg, and I like went through the house like running around with these little babies like, I can't believe you're real. They're so cool. And I had a really hard time talking him into getting into leopard in general. Back when we first got started, and we had put our money in so many other different things that proving just how cool that gene could be. And again, like now it's so weird to think about it because now
like
it's everywhere.
It's like my favorite
like
gene.
It's a standard, but back when that clutch hatched, like it was still kind of an anomaly in people's collections. And it just like blew my mind.
It wasn't bright. It wasn't like, you know, it changes things a lot, but people didn't know that at first.
But the babies we produced in that clutch like just looked like lightning. Like it was so cool. And I couldn't shut up. I was like, I was right. You were wrong. I was right.
She does. Help me.
That is awesome. So I'm a huge college football fan. Okay, I don't know if you two are at all.
Not so much. Did you say what football?
College football.
College football. Okay. I thought you said Charlotte football. We're from Charlotte, North Carolina, and we have a team here. College football. Yeah.
You know, so basically, it's kind of a football question in a way, but leaning towards the breeders.
Okay.
I'm huge into college football. Georgia just took the national championship a couple weeks ago and beat Alabama. So, who is your Georgia as a breeder-wise in the ball pythons?
Oh man.
Who was last year's #1 breeder in your opinion?
If I said Roll Tide, would that apply to the Georgia?
No. So basically, I'm
No,
asking
I know.
you.
I'm just
okay. Okay.
I'm just joking
No
around.
Roll Tide. No Roll Tide.
That's not Georgia. I was just being funny. I don't know, who's your Georgia?
What do you think?
I don't know.
That's a tough question. So many people produce so many beautiful animals. And like now the industry is open to so many people, like the threshold, the barrier of entry is so much lower that you see like just tons of people doing tons of cool stuff that like wasn't possible when there was so little variety and everything cost so much money, that now it's wide open and everybody's producing really cool stuff, which is
Yeah.
hard to say who had like the best.
Yeah. I mean, one breeder, like obviously there are a few at the top that, I mean, I guess they'd be the Georgia, but I feel like they'd be like the Patriots playing against a college team. You know what I mean? It'd be like the Globetrotters playing against their team. So, I mean, I'm not even going to mention those breeders at the top because
They already know.
They know who they are. They know we're like, holy shit, how are you making that year after year after year? And some of them, I mean, I just have to say, Justin Kabilka, like one of the most genuine people you'll ever meet, like really kind of helped us out a couple times.
I know we don't need to say that we love Justin. Everybody loves Justin.
So we're gonna go for some names that are not them because we already know that they're like
right, not like Billy or from Mutation Creation, Miguel.
Right, of course.
Exactly.
Like they already know they're killing it.
Know.
Guys, you already know.
Yeah, right. I get it.
I have one that I want to shout out.
Sure.
So I've been super into what Milbrat and Capinato are putting out.
Yeah.
Jake Milbrat and I know Capinato, I don't know. I feel like I don't really know him, but they like joined forces a little while ago. I know I didn't study for this quiz, but I feel like they just constantly put out like amazing quality things.
We actually just bought a new girl from them. We're really excited to get her. She's super cool. But there have been so many amazing breeders this year. Mm-hmm. Like,
Who's the one that comes to mind for you?
I mean, for me, and it's going to be one of those things where I'm going to be like, dude, that's a big breeder. Shut up. But for me, it's always JD Constriction, man. Like, I think for having so many lines of SKs of Axanthic in general, I feel like he has really championed the SK line so well and just continues to put out like show-stopping animals just in terms of the quality that he's producing. It's not even that like he's producing animals that are just like crazy gene stacked or something wild and different and crazy. Like he doesn't need to do that. What he's producing is just like, this is why people love TSK because this is what I'm producing. And to me, there's just something so awesome about just committing to quality, not necessarily going after like crazy innovation, just producing really amazing tight animals like time after time and knocks that out of the park every year.
Okay.
What I find like almost more inspiring sometimes, like if I'm going through YouTube and I see like a video by a bigger breeder, like that's super cool and I love to see it. But sometimes it's like even more fun to see someone who's just starting out, maybe just like getting their first few clutches.
I love it. The videos I want to watch are like of new breeders that have just picked up like their first lesser enchi. They could not be more excited. They're like just stars in their eyes, like dreaming about all the awesome stuff that's going to happen. Like that's what I want to watch. I think that's so fun.
That's what inspires me, I think.
Absolutely. Like remembering that like there is a whole wide world of breeders out there and people that are into this weird stuff just like we are.
Okay. So what is your favorite morph?
Single morph? Of all time?
Well, no. It could be a combo trait.
Oh
But
God,
Oh,
you had to
wow.
complicate it.
Phew, like that was already a hard question. Now it's like trigonometry. Okay.
I'm just gonna go single morph because I'm playing by my own rules. It's gonna take too long for me to come up with like a whole combo. That'd be crazy.
Yo, what's up, Justin?
I think that probably my favorite like base morph, and it's super lame, but I'm a big black pastel fan. Huge.
Okay.
I love anything dark, rich, like gorgeous snakes are just, to me, there's nothing better. I love
Okay.
that. So for me, like black pastel adds so much edge to everything, and the patterns are really unique that it comes out with, even more so than I think a lot of the other dark jeans. So I'm always excited to see when black pastel kind of resurfaces in people's collections. I think it gets ignored a lot. So I'm always psyched when people are doing stuff with it. So yeah, for me, base jean, black pastel.
Nice.
Okay.
I love black pastel too. That was one of the first jeans we got really excited about.
Yes.
So I really want to say leopard, but I feel like people that know me already know that leopard is like everywhere, or knows us anyway.
True.
So I'm gonna pick yellow belly, because I was saying this before.
Newsflash.
I love yellow belly so much, and part of the reason is because it was like kind of hard to identify for me at first. And I love to nerd out about jeans, morphs, and whatnot. And so like I could not figure out what made a yellow belly different from a normal for like a really long time. And I used to ask people at shows, like breeders at shows, like what is yellow belly? And finally, like it clicked. And that was really cool for me. Like some jeans are like that, where it just like can click for you. Like when I figured out what Enchi looks like for the first time, like it clicked. Yellow belly, I love that, like you can tell what a quality yellow belly is. Like when the flames go super high, when the belly is just like speckled and crazy. And I guess bonus points because black pastel yellow bellies
are rad.
Awesome. Those jeans
Super
are like
cool.
made for each other.
They really are. They're awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the greatest thing that you get from breeding, and also from breeding the ball pythons? Like, what is the greatest moment for you, knowing, anything? It could be once you see the snake comes out the egg, and you're like, wow, like it's alive, or like, it could be anything. Like, what is the greatest thing that you get from breeding?
These are good questions.
Yeah, you're a good interviewer. Look at you.
I got to do my homework because I've been watching.
Yeah.
I like it. They're thought-provoking.
What do you think?
Man, I mean, there's so much. Because like really what I want to say is that it's like everything, because there's so many like little things that you wouldn't think go into breeding, like even figuring out how to manage like your like social media so that people like know you and want to buy from you, like meeting people and interacting with customers, like, and then the animals themselves, and then like there's just so much, so it's kind of hard to like narrow it down to one thing. So I feel like I've never had a hobby before where you learn so much and wear so many different hats. So that like stimulation is part of it. You know what? I know it's kind of a bullshit answer, but I'm gonna say like the fact that you get to learn so much about so many different things, that makes it really fun. It makes it like a whole lifestyle instead of just a hobby.
Okay.
Yeah. I have two really, and I can't quite decide. So part of me wants to say the community, because as someone that like grew up really loving reptiles and having everyone that knew that tell me I was super weird, and still people I meet are like, that is super weird. So like getting to meet people that are also really excited about it, not even like excited about the business, people that are like excited about the animals and about like the role that they have in our lives and how people feel about snakes in general, and like how all of us are like working to change that image through the people we interact with. I think that that's a really beautiful part of this hobby, and it's something that you don't get without the platform of being a breeder. You get to share those like positive interactions with reptiles with people. So there's that aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think more personally, I love having gravid females. And I know everyone loves having gravid females, but I have like an extra special bond with all of our adult girls. They're like my ladies, and I take extra care with them when they're gravid, and I just love to see them glowy and healthy and like fulfilling like a biological destiny for them is really special for me. So like I love that moment. So
I love how you are with them after they've laid and we pull the girl off the eggs and you're like, oh, we have a timeout.
Time out. So you're going into the next question.
I'm sorry.
No. It's fine. So let's hit the next question real quick. Now, same question, but being a couple, what's the greatest thing that you get from being a couple doing it?
Oh, nice. I really like to stare at her butt while she's working on like the top.
Oh my gosh! You can't just say that to people.
Okay. All right. So that's facts, but also, yeah, I guess what I was saying was like, it's really cute how you are with the girls. Like she really does bond with them. And so after they've laid and they're like, you know, the snake is tired. She's just like expelled like, you know, 9 eggs out of her. Like, how do they do that? It's crazy. She'll like take her time with them and like, you know, put them in with some water so they can like, you know, get a good drink. And she like kind of holds them while they drink and like wipes them down so that the scent isn't on them and they'll be able to like get back on food and stuff. I feel like it's cool, like the way that you take care of them.
Thank you.
I'm so much more like, you know, A, B, C, D, E. Like you bond more.
I don't know. So like for me, we've faced some of the biggest like challenges in our relationship, like
That's
by
true.
Building PowerlineReptiles.
That's so true.
We've done so much crazy shit to maintain and build this collection.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's nuts. Like so just quick example.
We practically like buried bodies for this.
Almost.
Like...
we lived in a row home for a while in Philadelphia. And our landlord was like, absolutely no animals other than our dog. And he would come for like checks every now and again to like check out the property. And we would have to take all the rats out of the house, get them into like a truck, drive the truck away for like an overnight somewhere. All the snake racks had to be like dismantled, covered. Everything had to be taken apart. We did this like how many times?
Do you remember the snake rack that we like labeled with like?
Yes, I sure do. I remember.
It was like, you know, t-shirts, blankets.
So that
like we labeled.
So that our landlord wouldn't know what they were if they
think it was just shelves.
There was a clause in that particular lease agreement that they could come in whenever they wanted to. So they all had to be disguised.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so upsetting.
Yeah.
No, my blankets are in that one. My, you know,
exactly. My Christmas ornaments are here.
Don't worry about it.
Exactly. I don't know what we were thinking.
What's that beeping? What is that?
What are all these cords here for? But no, I mean, I think that like it's one of those things where any point we could have given up and said, this is too hard, this is too much.
Yeah.
Like we've been through ups and downs in the industry. We've watched projects rise and fall and lost money and made money and like had horrible things happen and wonderful things happen and so much over like the course of the last 10 years. And I think it's just awesome to like watch us go like, nope, there's nothing we can't do if we're together doing this. Like it doesn't matter. We're going to get through it one way or another. And I think that's been such a strengthening thing for our relationship in general.
Yeah.
I don't know if we would be quite the same without it.
That was
really awesome.
Yeah. Wow, you're more insightful than me.
I don't know. As for me, I'd probably say my wife does all the loving on the snakes. I mean, I handle them, but not as much as she does. I'm more the feeder, the cleaner. I do all the dirty work while she has all the fun. And
Yeah.
Can we do that?
No. Gotta still split the cleaning.
What is both your opinions, of course, greatest holdback of all time that you've had?
Oh man.
Greatest holdback all time.
Pinstripe female.
Pinstripe.
My very first holdback.
Yep.
Let's see. Oh man, I don't know. What have we held back that's just been like, man, I'm so glad we kept her or him.
What's up, DA?
I mean, I'm so excited for the trick clown stuff. We held back some trick het clowns, and I'm just like so excited to make
true,
the visuals.
And I thought you were stupid for keeping them, honestly. But like seeing what's happened to the project, I'm like, yeah, this is cool. I like this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get so attached to all of them for different reasons, and like, I don't know if there's like one that like stands out to me as just like, man, we really hit it out of the park on that one. I can't believe that we still have that. They're all so cool. I don't know.
Okay.
That's a hard question. I'm sorry. We have so many, and we've had so many.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they're like one that I bonded with the most was this Firefly Leopard Yellow Belly. He was just so cool. And he made so many things for us. Like he made leopard ivories for us. Like he really started that whole thing. And yeah, that's when you were talking about earlier, that kind of looked lightning style. He was prolific. Like that line was like, it was cool. Like I looked at him.
He was definitely the moment where I think we thought like, we can do this. Like we can do this. This is awesome.
Yeah. I think what it was, like why he comes to mind is because like we had his dad, we had him, he was the holdback, right? So we bought the dad, he was the holdback. And then we had his son as a breeder, and then his son's son, I believe, as a breeder. Or at least like babies from that. Yeah. So that was cool. Like little.
I'm still here. I'm still here. I have you on Bluetooth. I just.
Oh, you're fine. I was gonna say if you wanted to run away, it's okay. I know.
No. You're good.
I love it.
So next question for you, for both of you. How many clutches are you both planning for this year, starting of 2022? What is your goal limit? You're like, you know, I'm just saying hypothetically, let's just say you're like, you know what, we had 24 this last year. I want to hit like 28.
Yeah.
What's your number?
I think we kind of more or less know because we're like.
Yeah, so actually we've started to pull back a little bit on the collection. It's just gotten crazy in the last couple of years. And, you know, both of us still work full-time jobs. So this is just like another full-time job. And at some point, it just gets so out of hand. And like, you feel like all you're doing with your life outside of your other job is cleaning snakes and taking pictures and posting listings. And we wanted to get back to a point where we were excited about every single thing that we did and that we had time to be excited about every single animal we produced. And it wasn't just like, oh gosh, another mouth to feed. How are we going to do this?
Yeah. It's not a good feeling when like you have clutches hatching and you're like not excited, but like, oh, it's like we're
you're
so
really
busy.
A little stressed. And like, that's not why we decided to do this.
That's not us. I think that's some other people want that.
We wanted to do this because we were excited about the animals. So
it's a passion.
Right. So we want to keep it at a size where we feel excited. I think this year we have 48 girls breeding, which is probably even a little heavier than we want to be if they all decided to go. Because for us, that'd be a lot of clutches, and for just two people, it's a lot. But that's what's breeding this year is like 48 girls. So we'll see. We'll see.
Okay. I mean, I think our goal would be like around 30, just as an estimate. You know, that would be like about the right amount of time. Like you know, it's everything that we're excited about. Like we know that would be right about the sweet spot.
Yeah,
But
space-time efficiency, that feels like a good number, like 30 clutches.
you can't tell Mother Nature what to give you, though.
Nope.
That's the thing about the hobby.
Well, that, and I mean, like, you can't guarantee you're gonna put this together to this and guaranteed hit that. I mean, you still got the odds, gods, and all that. So I completely understand on that.
Yeah.
So not to start an argument between you two.
Uh-oh.
Go for it. We love to fight.
Between the two of you, who's better at pulling eggs?
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough question. I don't know. Wait, it's usually a team effort, so that's a tough question. At pulling eggs?
Notice I'm letting her answer. I'm not trying to fight.
He wants me. No,
I mean, really, I think you could say either one of us. I think we're both pretty good. You're probably better at actually egg pulling. I'm better with the girls post-lay. You're probably better with getting the girls off the eggs. But I'd say we're both probably good at
Whenever
it.
we're both together doing it, which sometimes we have to do it alone, but you know, if the other person is just away or whatever, but we kind of have a rhythm down. Like I'll get the egg box ready while she's like getting water warmed up for the, you know, the mother. And then I'll pull the snake off the eggs. And while she's like handling the snake, then I'll get the eggs in the egg box, get them, you know, set up and start cleaning the tub. So yeah, we kind of have a little rhythm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Team effort.
Mm-hmm. Look at all these nice people commenting. Aren't they nice?
I know.
That's so sweet. I like that we can see the chat. That's cute.
So next one. And of course, two different answers. When will you both start PowerlineReptiles YouTube channel?
Dude. When we can hire somebody to do it.
So yeah, I don't know. The problem is that we watched a couple of really good friends of ours start a YouTube channel that they had a lot of fun with, but like just watching how much work goes into it.
Oh,
and I really commend you for doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Like just like I thought when they did their stuff, as I was like, this is hard. This is a lot of work. You have to know cameras and computers and
you gotta
editing
shout them out.
God,
Gotta
there's
say
so
that.
much work.
Shout
What?
out to R&B Reptiles.
Oh yeah, to R&B Reptiles. We love you guys. Well, Ryan now.
Mm-hmm.
Love you, Ryan.
But yeah, just so much time goes into it.
Time. And as it is, like our time is like maxed. Yeah. I don't know how we would be able to do a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But maybe somebody if somebody learns editing or
I feel like
cameras,
it's cool. I like it seems like there's a good community on YouTube. I would love you know, I would love to do that at some point, just to like connect with people like on that level a little bit more. Like I feel like there's a whole community on YouTube that we kind of miss out on. But
so I want to admit to that, like when it comes to IG, because like I post my lives like tonight, like so I did the pre-post of me and you going live, or us going live, us three. Thanks. And then I did after the show, I'm gonna do another one during the live stream, and it'll be randomly throughout the show. Hopefully I catch all three of us smiling at one point.
Yeah.
And then post that. But but I mean, yeah, there's people that don't go on from the IG that don't come over to the YouTube, and vice versa. So so here's the rapid answer questions, and I want you both. There's 15 of them, and I'm going to be honest. Number 15, one of you might want to think about your answer before you just shout it out.
Okay.
Thanks for the warning.
You're very welcome. As we know who that was just meant towards. What's up, Liz?
So.
So right away, once I start, it's going to be one or the two, and just give me a quick answer.
Okay.
Go. Are both of you ready?
I was born ready.
We should try to like answer at the same time.
We'll
yes, please. Please try to answer at the same time.
Right.
Okay. Popping or probing?
Popping.
Live or frozen thawed?
Frozen thawed.
Cold or hot?
Hot.
Cold.
I don't know.
I don't know.
What is that?
I don't know why.
It could be anything. It could be hot
That's
weather, summer, cold in the winter.
Cold always.
Sports or gambling.
Neither.
Sports.
Sports,
Beer,
I
or
guess.
beer or whiskey.
Beer.
Whiskey.
East Coast or West.
East.
City or town.
Town.
I had to think about that though.
Steak or chicken.
Steak.
New house or new car.
New house.
Plane or ship.
Plane or ship?
Plane.
Ship.
Red or blue.
Blue.
Red. Why did I say red?
I don't know why
I
you
like
said
blue.
red.
I don't know.
Everything in our house is painted blue.
Red came to mind.
Blue.
Tom Brady or Michael Jordan.
Who?
Tom
The
Brady.
dude
or
in the
Michael
underwear commercials or the other dude?
Oh,
that
okay,
was the-
let's
I
skip
think
that one.
Michael
Let's skip that
Jordan. I did his mom's nails once.
one. Snakes or lizards.
Snakes.
Snakes.
Day or night.
Night.
Day.
Fun or serious.
Fun.
Fun.
Money or love.
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 You had to hesitate there for a second.
That's why I said that last one might get you. That last one might get you.
Right though, Derek's reptile said Michael Jordan. That would have probably been my answer. Is Michael Jordan?
Yeah, I'm thinking about Space Jam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. I was just worried about number 15, money or love. You know, I was more expecting from your wife to be like love, and then Phil to be like, money.
Money helps. That's
Money
for
does
sure. And since we're kind of the breeders that like started with no money,
Yeah.
like to us, it's like money does definitely helps. That's for sure. We know we had none of it.
She always tells me like this time she married for love, next time she's marrying for money, which it kind of hurts my feelings, but I feel like it's sweet as well.
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about
It
it.
was worthwhile to marry for love, but next time money, yes.
She said next time it's gonna be like a lawyer.
Surgeon. Come on.
Surgeon.
Or chic. We'll see.
A chic.
That's where I'm gonna get my ship.
Derek said he's rich.
Thanks, Derek.
Hey, stay over there. Like maybe when we divorce. And he already has a reptile collection.
That's true.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I love my wife, but money sounds so much great. Like almost as great.
I know.
Yeah.
It just makes things so much easier.
That's why you just got to make money together. You know what I mean?
It helps.
Yeah.
She busts her ass. She works almost like 6 days a week or 7 days a week, and she does like 15-hour shifts. I commend my wife. That's why she's not here most of the time.
No,
Yeah.
sweet.
Wow.
As for me, like I breed the rats. I got my side hustle. Like I do electrical or installation shit like that. So.
Oh, nice.
Oh, good. You can come hang out with all of the electrical weirdness in our house. That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. So you guys are in North Carolina, right?
We are. We're
yeah.
based in Salisbury, which is about 45 minutes outside of Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Reno, Nevada.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's quite a bit away.
Yeah.
Different ball game for sure.
Oh, wow.
What projects do you both want to get into that you have not gotten into yet?
Monsoon.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Moray.
Well, yeah. So I really want to hold out for the Moray version of that gene, but I've loved the Monsoon, like Moray kind of area since that first dropped. I love busy animals are like something I totally adore. So I'm like, this is untapped potential. I want it right now. We just haven't quite gotten there yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you?
I mean, I think I'm actually right there with you. I think we're both super into that. I'm excited to see what works and what doesn't with Moray and Monsoon. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it could be one of those things that takes over and it might be hard to find the right influences in it, but
that's what's fun about it.
And then
it's fun that we don't know yet. There's no formula. It's like, let's
fun.
play around and see what happens. That's the fun part.
Yeah. I'd like to do
Okay.
that.
Soon. We just contacted some folks about Moray, and we're like, okay, put us on a list. Let us
Mhm.
know. Hopefully.
Yeah, if you guys don't know Moray, check it out. It's IRES Reptiles. They're overseas. Not sure exactly
I
where,
think
but
in the UK. I don't know that.
I
Sorry,
don't know.
Irez, if that's wrong. But
I feel like it is.
UK-based.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
cool though. I mean, it looks a lot like Monsoon. It could be about the same, kind of like, Trick and Hurricane kind of thing, but I don't know if it's compatible. I don't think anybody does, but Moray, I don't know. I feel like we've seen like some cooler things in that direction, but it's really hard to know whether
The Netherlands. Sorry, I had to look it up.
Told you.
I can't not look
It's
it
hard
up.
to know if that's just like the things that have been done with both yet, like you can't judge the gene until you've really like experimented with it a good amount.
That's true. Oh, he called us the Korean Topanga of the reptile world. I love that. Thank you.
Derek's got jokes, dude.
I know.
He's a good friend. Good friend.
Derek,
He does
awesome.
really good. He does really good interviews as well. He's a podcaster like
Moray.
myself.
Yeah, we'll have to chat sometime.
Moray for sure. There are a few others we've just like managed to miss that like eventually I'm sure we'll wind our way into puzzle. I'd like to have some puzzle at some point. Some stupid stuff I'd like to have, like cypress. We don't have any cypress in our collection.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on, man. I like cypress. Why don't we have any? I just haven't found the right one yet. You never know.
Some things we disagree on, and then we just don't get it because
True.
we can't agree on it.
Wookie.
So, what are the odds of you both getting into venomous?
Probably very unlikely.
Yeah.
He's all zero right there.
Yeah.
Zero.
So, a long time ago, when we first got started, we used to go to the Hamburg Reptile Show in Pennsylvania a lot, and it's a venomous show. So we really loved the eyelash vipers, and we were like, man, we could do that. That'd be awesome. And because, like I said, I have to research everything like exhaustively before I do anything.
Oh, the Christmas tree ones.
Yeah, they're so cool.
Some venomous just look so amazing.
Just awesome. And so I did some homework, and it was like, yeah, mortality rate from the bite's really low. They're pretty easy to care for, like no worries. And then I stumbled across a forum where someone did a bite report from an eyelash viper. And he was like, yeah, it was no big deal. Obviously, I had to go to the hospital and get anti-venom. My thumb swelled up and did pictures and everything. I was like, oh, it's not so bad. And he was like, however, my insurance only covers native snake bite. So he walked out of the hospital with like $125,000 hospital bill. And I said, I think we're going to be okay with just non-venomous animals. And it sucks. And we're big fans of like Viper Keepers channels and stuff. I love venomous snakes. They're so cool. But I just don't know that that's quite in our future.
We'll stick to pictures and reptile houses.
Videos.
We're huge nerds for venomous snakes.
We are.
So I got 3 more for you both, and then that will be the end of the show. If you could change something in the reptile community, what would it be and why?
What do you think? I've been talking this whole time. It's your turn.
I felt like I was answering all the time. So I guess it's been a good 50-50. Yeah, I have something in mind. I feel like Derek trolling all the time is one thing that I would change. No, I'm just kidding. So I think one thing is that there are just like so many cool things that you can do with different morphs. And I feel like the community gets a little bit like
trendy.
What's it called? Tunnel vision on what like just the what the trendsetters set as the trend, when there are like so many other cool things that you can do. So I feel like what Justin always says is like follow your own path, right? Yeah. And I feel like
it's not bad advice.
It really isn't. I mean, like when you're following that trend, so many other people, so many other moths are also like about to bump into that light. And, you know, if you're really in it just because you think it's trendy or it's going to get you the money or whatever else, like everyone else had the same idea, you know, like it's not going to be just you. But if you're into something, even if it is that trendy thing, if you're into it because you love it and you really want to see what that can do with this and what your spin on it is, then that's where you're going to have the most fun. That's where you're going to be the really inspiring and inspired as a breeder. And, you know, too many people get into it, realize that they're not going to make that quick buck they thought on that like really expensive thing. So a lot of people had the same idea and then they get out. And it's like, no, you can really like cultivate your own passion and your own projects.
Yeah, do what you think is cool. It makes it so much more worth it if you just stick to the things that you love.
So, you guys just made your last question even harder because you cannot repeat what you just said.
Oh, dang.
Okay.
Yeah, or what you said throughout the night. So I need it to be super like from your heart, original.
Okay.
But before we get to that question, and I think I'm gonna take a hint on who I think it is, Justin. But who is your most favorite person that you met in person?
Oh man. Okay.
Gosh, we've made such good friends in the reptile industry. We've got so many
Yeah.
people that have been so wonderful.
But was there somebody that you met when, like, you know, if you met Miguel in person, you were just like, holy shit, I met Miguel, or like Billy, or, you know, you meet Rich McCall, if that's your biggest one, or, you know, whoever it may be that's big time, and you're like, holy crap, I just met that person. Maybe Dave Kaufman, I don't know.
Definitely going to see Justin's facility for the first time was like a really big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt a lot like we'd arrived. No, but I'll tell you the moment that blew me away the most, and this is going to sound really selfish, but when we showed up to our local Repticon and Daniel Allison was there and he went, "You guys are Powerline Reptiles, right?" I was like, oh my gosh, he knows who we are. It's crazy.
That was cool.
I like couldn't believe that like he would know who we were. It was crazy to me. But yeah, no, I mean, every time we meet like one of our heroes, we try to play as cool as we can, but it's tough not to be really excited and be like, man, I'm just so into the stuff that you're into. And like, I don't know, it's hard. I guess it's a lot like normal people like meeting celebrities. Like you feel like you know them already, but they don't know you. So it's crazy.
Back in the day, like when, you know, Snake Bites TV was all the thing.
And meeting Brian
Barczyk, that was one of those moments where, you know, we were like, oh my God, we watch his videos all the time. And he's over there. He was actually like riding a mechanical bull at that expo. I don't know if they had like a mechanical bull there. And that was like a little surreal, you know.
So you should really hit up Derek, though. I mean, if he could get you on his show, I mean, he's interviewed Brian Barczyk. He's interviewed Tyler Nolan already. Tyler Nolan, Brian Barczyk, like a lot of big guys out there. And
that'd be cool.
He's somebody that you should definitely hit up and do an interview with. But I have one more question, but I'm going to ask you behind the scenes, because then it'll answer it. But the last question I'm going to ask you on the live stream is from both you, and this is why I said your answer might be a little hard, because you kind of said it, but then you kind of like went off of it. But from both your opinions, what is something that you could leave behind to somebody that may be watching this 4 or 5 years down the road, maybe a month from now, and they're just now getting into reptiles, and they're like, wow, maybe they don't want to get into breeding, you know, maybe they just want to have them as a collection, or maybe they do want to get into breeding. What is something positive that you could leave behind for them to come back and be like, wow, you know what, I'm going to follow my dream because that's what I want to be?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Hopefully that wasn't too hard. I ask that every time.
Oh, it's thought-provoking.
No, it is. It's a good thing. No, and I think, you know, people don't necessarily think about that kind of stuff often enough. Like the spirit behind why we do what we do and what makes it you know, what makes it special. I don't think people think about it quite enough.
Mhm.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Um,
And thinking about it outside of even just breeding, like
yeah,
people who might just want a pet or like just getting into the reptile hobby.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think? For you?
Well, let's see. This isn't like inspiring, but the first piece of advice I could think of is to like really think about what you like the most and do a lot of research, like a lot of prep work before you get the animal. For one thing, like they're cold-blooded, like, and depending on the species, they can have like really serious requirements for keeping them. They can also live a really long time. And so I just would recommend that they really figure out what they love. Like, do you want a chameleon or do you want a ball python? Like, that there's so many choices out there, and they live so long, and they're really worth our best. So you don't want to like overload yourself with like, I got a ball python and a chameleon and a boa and a reticulated python just because I couldn't decide. I didn't do my research. So like, give the animals your best, because at the end of the day, like, they're living creatures, and you want to make sure that you do the responsible thing.
Yeah. For me, I think about how important it is to embrace our community of reptile people. It's such a weird, like, isolating thing that we're all into. And there's so much infighting in this industry, and people are very cliquey, and they like are very shady to lots of other people, and it can be so tough to feel like accepted in this industry, that I feel like it's really important for everyone to like go in with a mindset of like, we're gonna find the other weirdos like me, and we're gonna do this weird thing together. Like, this industry is such a history of like creativity and innovation and just passion for this thing, that I feel like everyone gets so wrapped up in like the drama and the money and the stuff, that like we lose sight of what it is that we're all really here for, which is this community of weirdos that like these very misunderstood creatures.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's so important to just, especially when you're interacting with other people or other people that are thinking about getting into the industry, like, we're all here doing what we love. Like, spread the joy of that with everyone else, and like live the joy, spread the joy, and it'll be a happier community overall.
So true. Wow.
As for me, I will answer my own question on this one. If you love snakes, lizards, if maybe you want a tortoise, I don't know, whatever you desire to have, love what you're doing. Don't look back. Don't let no one tell you that's stupid. You shouldn't have that. Like, do what you want. Stop listening to other people. See, I'm a Sagittarius. I don't know if you guys are into horoscopes, but I am bluntly truth when it comes to shit, and people hate me. And this is why I probably haven't hit 1,000 subscribers. But at the same time, I'm honest with everyone. Do what you love. Do not let someone else tell you, oh, no, that's stupid. Yep. I would love to someone to come over to my place right now and tell me, oh, you have ball pythons? You're stupid. I'd smack the fuck out of you. What are you doing? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But, like, do what you want. Do what you love. Don't do it because you see this guy breeding this and they're breeding that and they're making this. If you're gonna breed what you want. Do what you love.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I think so many people, we've heard it all the time, right? Like, the only good snake is a dead snake, or like, oh, you have snakes.
I hate that. I hate that.
Yeah, so you're right. Like, you sometimes need to have a little bit of thick skin, like, especially if you're in a family where they think it's evil. I mean, I would post I'm not going to tell a long story, but on Facebook, I would like post a picture of a snake. My grandma, who's friends with me, would like post Bible verses about the snake and the serpent and how it's like the devil. And so
okay, yeah, no, I feel you.
Yeah, so
Phil, Sam, we're gonna end it here though. Don't leave. I got one question for you, like I said, but thanks.
Hey, thanks everybody.
Awesome. Yeah,
thanks
for
having
coming,
us.
guys. Really appreciate it. Hope we weren't real boring.
Hell no. Until next time, everybody, I'm Ball Python Love. See you in the next one.